Hello, everybody. It is the week of January 12th, 2025. Welcome to the first episode of the ColleX podcast, powered by wearecritics.com. I'm your host, DJ. So, if you're finding the show for the first time, it would make total sense because it's the first time I've ever done the show. So, what is ColleX podcast? So, over here at ColleX, we are the collection or collector wing of wearecritics.com, our parent channel. We are very proud to be powered by wearecritics.com. If you're familiar with their work, bringing you all the best in movie news, trailer reactions, movie reviews, out of theater reactions, industry stuff, all that good stuff. Everything in the ever expanding pop culture bubble we all live in. Part of that pop culture bubble is all the little fun plastic things they make for all those movies and TV shows and cartoons, etc. That's where I come in. I am going to try my very, very best to bring you, news, reviews, unboxings, opinions, just all kinds of fun stuff because I love plastic. I don't hide it. It's right on Main Street. I am a toy junkie. So, what's the show going to be? This is going to be hopefully weekly show we're going to try to do, and it's going to cover whatever's around that week. Stuff we went hunting for, news, just whatever kind of tickles our fancy, so to speak. So, what about myself? I'm your host, DJ, as I said. I am, again, very proud to be part of the wearecritics.com family. If you live in the New England area, you might have seen me hosting panels, especially at Rhode Island Comic-Con. We've done some stuff down in Jersey. We've done stuff all over the place. And we just really love what we do, man. I love to talk. And I love to talk about things I love, and I love toys. So, again, we're going to do a whole bunch of different stuff on this show, and we're just going to try to keep it fun. So, what do I collect? What can you expect? I collect a little bit of everything. As you can see behind me, or the folks listening to the audio. Again, if you're always finding us on your podcast streaming stations, we appreciate it. If you want to see some of the things I'm talking about, besides just Googling what I say to Google and look at pictures, we are on YouTube and Instagram at ColleX Podcast. So I do mainly action figures and statues. I also do some pop culture apparel from brands like Geeky Jerseys and Roosevelt, so we'll talk about that from time to time. Big action figure guy, Turtles to an extent, G.I. Joe, DC, a little Marvel, Ghostbusters, NECA stuff. We're gonna maybe getting some trading card stuff down the line. I mean, just it's whatever's pop culture relevant and cool, we're going to try to talk about it. I'm a 90s kid. Or actually, I'm an 80s kid. Jeez, I'm old. And anyone who was around in the 80s, we had toys for everything. And we were sold everything by commercials and cartoons and things like that. And now they know we're all in our, late 30s, mid 40s, somewhere in that range. And we all have credit cards. They love to give us more stuff that we had when we were kids. So we're going to try to cover all of it. We're going to try to run the whole thing. So, let's go ahead and get into the news for a week with action figure news. Okay, so it is the first week of 2025. It's gonna be a little slow. The reviews, not the reviews, the reveals. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Reveals have not been killer to start the year, which is fine. So a couple of the usual suspects have let some stuff out. So number one, let's go to McFarlane. McFarlane Toys, of course, founded by the Todd father, Todd McFarlane, one of my favorite artists. Huge McFarlane guy. Yeah, so Todd father, big inspiration to my collecting style. I still can remember the exact day, me and my buddy Dan went to Bradley's in Massachusetts, where we're from. Walked in the action figure aisle, and right there on the end of the aisle was the newly released Spawn figures from McFarlane Toys. At the time, there was nothing like it. I mean, the majority of the stuff you bought at that point in time, roughly, was it early 90s when the Image stuff came out? You're probably looking at your number one selling toy line for boys, I would think would be, at that point in time, you're winding down Real American Hero G.I. Joe. You had the Power Rangers. Actually, did you? Damn, yeah, you didn't even have the Power Rangers yet, I don't think. That craze hasn't started. So it was McFarlane Toys came out, and the best thing you probably had was probably the Toy Biz Marvel stuff, like your X-Men figures. So to see a Spawn, or Jesus Jones, a medieval Spawn, and a Violator and a Clown, it blew your mind as a 11-year-old, 10-year-old, somewhere in there. I mean, it was insane looking. So I've been, obviously there's been hills and valleys with anything. You stop, you pick things back up, etc. You jump from collection to collection, item to item, license to license. But the McFarlane stuff has always been there, and now, I mean, with the stuff he's doing now, I'm into it big bad way. But anyone wants to discuss about, bitching about pins and arms and stuff like that, we can always go into that. That's not a big deal. I'm just saying, like, in general, right? So we had a couple new McFarlane news bits this week. First off, you had two new UFC digital figures. They're called digital figures because you get like a kind of like an NFT type deal with them. I don't know who the hell in today's day and age still does the NFT thing. I don't get it. If you do, hey, more power to you, man. It's whatever you like. For me, I don't get it. But you had two new UFC guys. You had Patty and Justin Guthrie. Patty's got a chase, so you got like hair braid Patty and bowl cut, I guess we'd call him Patty. Here's the thing with these. I have no idea who the hell is buying these things, to be honest with you. As much as I love McFarlane, and I will, I'll die on the hill. I adore McFarlane toys and everything that, Todd himself has done for me as a comic book fan since I was a kid. But I don't know who the hell buys these things. They're ugly as hell. The whole thing with these, and like when they brought the Movie Maniacs back, I was stoked because I used to love the Movie Maniacs back in the day. Like, remember the like all the Michael Myers figures and stuff like that, and the Voorhees and all those things were so good. But like these are like little mini statues, and they don't move, and I just don't get it. And the sculpt on them sucks. And I found, the ones I found, like Target carries them a lot. I don't see them too often at Walmart. I think Walmart had the Rocky ones one point in time. Paint application not that great either. So I personally am out on all the McFarlane sports stuff and the Movie Maniacs, but if you do, you got two new UFC guys to pick up. I like UFC. It has faded a little bit for me over the years. Back like in the pre-UFC 200 days, Jesus man, we would do massive like Bashers form and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, so he's got those two coming out. And he's got another one of these Batman cowl scale things coming out. They're doing the Christian Bale one. This one's the 1/1. I think they've done a quarter scale Christian Bale cowl, but this one's a 21-inch full scale Christian Bale, Dark Knight Batman cowl. These things again are kind of cool, I guess. The fact that they're not wearable, I'm not gonna lie, it does kind of hurt a little bit. They did an Adam West one. I mean, they've done, I think, geez, Christ, I think they've done all the Batmans by now, but I know they did Michael Keaton and Adam West, and I was stoked when I heard they were coming out. I have the Adam West Maddie Batman cowl, which is an absolute gorgeous, gorgeous item. One of the favorite things I think I've ever bought from Mattel. Fully wearable. Not 100% screen accurate, but close enough for the price point. It's fabric and stuff. These McFarlane ones are just solid plastic. They're like statues, basically. So to call it like a 1/1 cowl replica, it's a little, I don't know. I don't agree with the wording on it. I mean, they do look cool. Like if you have the room to put all these things up on, they do look sick, but I don't. So I don't have, I mean, I have the Keaton one on pre-order. So waiting for GameStop to ship it. Again, GameStop and they're shipping their pre-orders. It's an entirely different episode. But yeah, so that's pretty much with the McFarlane. We do know some of the stuff he has coming out in the DC multiverse. We're going to get to some of the stuff in the hunting section coming up in a few minutes. But we do know that there is a new collector's edition wave getting ready to hit. And it's going to have Power Girl and it's going to have Captain Cold in it. And damn, I forget the third one. But that's going to be the one to hunt down. The DC multiverse stuff is along with the Marvel digital. See, he does the Marvel digitals, like the greatest hits cover kind of deal, and they're super cool. He's got that Secret Wars 8 Black Suit Spider-Man coming out. And as much as I really don't do Spider-Man stuff, I might even have to hop on one of those. He's got an X-Men #1 Jim Lee Cyclops coming too. that just looks killer. And again, 90s kid, X-Men #1 Jim Lee cover has a special place in my heart, even though it almost killed the entire comic book industry. But nonetheless. Another news announcement, the folks at Super 7. Again, I know a lot of people do the Super 7 stuff. I mean, some of the Ultimates I have, and they are nice. Like the Silverhawk stuff was nice. The price point gets a little rough, especially when you get into bigger teams. Like if you are someone who got into Super 7 Thundercats, God bless you, because that is like, oh man, the money you must have put into that collection. I'm sure it looks amazing on shelf, but whew, expensive stuff. But they do the reaction figures, which again, I'm not the. I mean, I get their place in the market there for to give you that retro feel of your 77 Star Wars or 78 Star Wars figures, your Robotech stuff, things like that from back in the day. There's a couple that are awesome. We're not gonna like they did Parks and Recreation, which is something that had only had Funkos up to that point in time. So to be able to get like a little John Ralphio and like an Aziz was kind of cool, and a Ron Swanson. They just did a Sesame Street line right for Christmas, and they did a Mr. Hooper. Mr. Hooper had an action figure, so of course I had to pick that one up. So I do cherry pick the retro reaction figures from Super 7. One thing that I do not understand, I guess there's a lot of stuff I don't understand in this whole industry, but Hasbro lets them make GI Joes in your old school 3/4 scale, 3 3/4 scale, which I don't get. I guess because Hasbro doesn't want to do the little GI Joes anymore, which is it's fine. I get it. But they started doing those, and they have one that I might have to pick up. They have an O-ring Serpentor coming out. I'll throw the picture up on the screen. If you're listening audio, I Google the Super 7's Serpentor, and again, it won't fit in with your classic GI Joes or any of the very small amount of O-ring figures that Hasbro has released for us. But I talked about it, and if you watch we do a little vignette kind of series called Action Figure Wish List, where I talk about the GI Joe classified figures I want this year, and Serpentor was on that list. Because I never had one as a kid, and I always wanted one, and I wanted I have the San Diego Comic-Con Serpentor. I'm an inbox collector mostly, so I'm not paying $200 to open one of those. It's not going to happen. So I do want a retro card, but for now I might have to sell for the O-rings reaction figure. It looks pretty good, but again, it's more just the character selection. A lot of the previous reaction GI Joes for me have been 85 repaints of bats and snake eyes and like just stupid stuff, and just nothing I was really that keen on, but Serpentor might do it for me. It's very possible. Also, one more note from, actually we're going to do two more notes. So Hasbro, Marvel Legends. I do appreciate the Marvel Legends figures. They've always done a fairly good job at giving you stuff you want. Now, I do understand a lot of the waves, especially when they start doing the Build-A-Figure waves, they'll throw in some chuffa. And there's a lot of Marvel Legends waves that just, I can't see how they profited at all. If you go to an Always discount store, or like a Ross, man, Wakanda Forever, the Marvels, the Doctor Strange Multiverse wave, Eternals are still sitting on the shelves. Whatever that wave was that has the weird Rogue and like the Wilson Fisk in it, the Daredevil, the Vincent D'Onofrio Wilson Fisk. Basically, all the stuff without windows just sat pretty much. But they have a wave coming out that has very much piqued my interest. It's the X-Men Nemesis wave. Put the picture up here. So you want to get me excited about Marvel stuff, you give me the X-Men. That's kind of like rule number one. The X-Force Cyclops in this wave is gorgeous. Oh my God, is it gorgeous. Mix that with Marrow, who not exactly a favorite character, but anyone who's, even if you're not a compa guy, if you video game guy, everyone's playing Marvel Capcom 2, right? Marrow. Excellent character. The Wolverine from this set is killer. You have an Age of Apocalypse Gambit, which I think is the first time that they've offered this figure, I believe. And you have an Age of Apocalypse, or it's an X-Force Nightcrawler, who I don't think is vastly different from the previous Nightcrawler that came out, which was a while ago. However, if I'm right, I might not be, because Marvel Legends is not something I'm as versed in as, like a McFarlane DC multiverse. I think outside the X-Men 97 Nightcrawler, the other baseline Nightcrawler, and X-Men 97 Nightcrawler is very nice. He's very hard to find. Nightcrawler's expensive, man. He's one of those characters. He's like Rogue. Dude, whenever a Rogue Marvel Legends figure comes out, for the most part, except for the one I just mentioned that's sitting at all the Ollie stores, like Rogue 97, X-Men 97, the original Marvel Legends Rogue, they kill. They absolutely kill. So, this Build-A-Figure wave builds Nemesis, X-Men villain. So, and there's Husk is in here, okay, whatever, and Fabian Cortez, it's like whatever, who cares? I don't care about those figures. Those are figures that someone, I'm sure somewhere, is ecstatic to get them for their set, whether they do photography or whatever, they need that figure, or if they just want the body for something. I get it. But Build-A-Figure waves, you always get one or two like weird kind of pulls. A box of these from Entertainment Earth might be worth it just for the Cyclops and the Nightcrawler and the Marrow. Honestly, if they're anything close to the prototypes, they are stunning figures. So, I said Entertainment Earth, you can order cases from them. I am not sponsored by any of these toy companies. Just want to let you know. I have no affiliate link for Entertainment Earth, or Big Bad Toy Store, who is my primary shopping spot. If either one of them would like to give me an affiliate link and sponsor the show, I'd be more than happy to listen. And the only reason I say order a case from Entertainment Earth is because Big Bad Toy Store right now, Cyclops is already sold out. So it looks like on the surface, Cyclops, X-Force Cyclops is going to be your silver tuna in this line. It looks really, really, really nice. And then one more tidbit from Hasbro. They have some more leaks out. So, as I said in my G.I. Joe action figure wish list, we had some images leak from, I think it was an Instagrammer. Again, I don't have the exact name. The photos I showed in that video are watermarked, so there's credit given. Obviously, they're not mine. But you had Retro Card, which, by the way, Retro Card G.I. Joe Classified might be my favorite thing to collect right now, just simply because, on top of the fact the figure is always killer, and actually one of the retro G.I. Joes is, we're going to go over it, but in the next few episodes we're going to start doing like our best of 2024 kind of thing. My best G.I. Joe was a retro figure this year, or last year, so to speak, but you had leaks of Retro Flint, which looks killer, Retro Cover Girl, a Retro G.I. Joe Army Builder, and you had a Bat, I believe were the four that leaked out. So it's now also leaking out that possibly as part of that second wave with that Bat is going to be your Retro Major Blood, which is excellent for two reasons. Number one, the Classified Major Blood was very, very different from what Retro, your classic G.I. Joe cartoon Major Blood, his look was. Not to say I didn't love the Classified figure. It was an amazing, amazing figure. And that figure will still run you $80, maybe. It's probably come down a little bit since this week has happened. But he was one of those, Cobra Island Target exclusive bullshit things that the Target, and again, I'm not trying to like besmirch a Target employee, but I know my Targets, those things got hoarded by employees, man. I think only once did those things make it to the shelf. I got Major Blood because I sat up one night and I got a Target wish list notification on my phone. I was able to order one, but all my Targets in my area, and I live in central Massachusetts, none of those Cobra Island things really ever made it to pegs. So if you were unable to get Major Blood, he's a character in the G.I. Joe line that everyone should have a chance to own. So I'm very glad that they are, if this is true, and let's face it, it's true. It's a fully mocked up prototype. They're not going to not make this thing, and the pattern is that they are giving you retro versions of characters that you had a hard time getting. They did Mindbender. They did Beachhead. Beachhead was one of the first Cobra Island ones where Beachhead came out good luck trying to find one of those. He was like $100 at one point in time. And you got a retro beachhead, and it's man, it's that thing's a chef's kiss. I'm not gonna lie, the thing is awesome. So it looks like we are getting a retro Major Blood with that bat line. Um, Again, so those used to be Walmart exclusives. They are not anymore. They are everywhere, including places like Big Bad Toy Store, where I have the wave coming out with Mindbender already on pre-order. So I'll just scoop those up. I threw those in my pile of loot. Um, which, by the way, it's a little sad. Again, not sponsored by Big Bad Toy Store, but I just want to show. Amazon Prime obviously does toys, and God bless them, they try. But if you're an inbox collector, it's very hard to pre-order stuff from Amazon because you don't know if, especially on the GI Joes, man, they throw those things in like poly bags and they get destroyed, and it's not their fault. They're a mass market retailing company. They don't know you're going to keep the thing in the box. They don't care. To them, it's a toaster or a pack of or a lunchbox. They don't care, right? Pack of socks. Big Bad Toy Store with the pile of loot. And everyone has their own thing. Like, Entertainment Earth even does free shipping over a certain amount. And, all these toy stores have their own little, like, deal, right? So it's not one or the other. But I just appreciate Big Bad Toy Store's pile of loot where you can order stuff. It comes in and they put it in your pile of loot. And what happens is when you want stuff, they hold it for you, I think, for 90 days per item. It tells you in your pile of loot which items you have that you've already paid for, how many days you have to call for it, and then when you want it, it's $4 to ship the box plus whatever sales tax. Because they don't charge sales tax until you basically take in possession of the item. So, not only is it a great way to save shipping, it's an amazing way to hide stuff from your wife or significant other or partner. So, there's vast times where, like, all of a sudden a box shows up, what's all this stuff? I'm like, hey, I ordered it 3 to 7 months ago. I'm sorry. It helps take a little bit of the sting off. We can go, a couple months where you're still collecting, you're still getting your stuff, and you don't have it locked up, and just no boxes show up. So it kind of eases the blow a little bit. So yeah, so that's what we got coming out for beginning of the year. So far, no, I haven't really seen any Star Wars Black Series stuff. Oh, you know what? There was a reveal for Master of the Universe Origins. Anyone still collecting those? I still dabble. Rio Blast, the Mattel Creations Rio Blast, got moved to January 21st, I believe. So that's coming up in 10 days. Very excited for that one. Rio Blast, like one of those figures where I think I had him as a kid because he was towards the end when all that stuff was going on clearance. That's how I was able to get him. But yeah, I mean, it's a cowboy with a giant gun. How do you go wrong? But the new wave of those came out, and it's the cartoon one. So you have Filmation Faker, Filmation Leech, and Filmation Catra. So you got some more She-Ra figures coming up. So anyone who was a big, whether you're a big She-Ra fan, you were, a lot of, females my age collect toys. Females collect toys. It happens. And it's good to see them getting more figures. So you have like Filmation Leech, Filmation Catra. The Filmation She-Ra just came in and she's shipping now, and she's pretty gorgeous. And then, you could even do something like the Ninja Turtles Master of the Universe crossover. Hordak could work for that. I think there's a Filmation Hordak too. So it's nice to see some She-Ra stuff. Still waiting on Bo and Swiftwind. I don't know what the hell Mattel's waiting for, but let's get those. Okay, so that was the news for the week. Let's go ahead and get into a section we call The Hunt. Okay, so, I mean, if you want, you can spend your entire time as a collector sitting on the internet and clicking on stuff. You can do it. It's not a big deal, right? Click on it, add it to cart, ship it, whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I hate doing that. I really do. I mean, it's nice to know the FOMO, as the kids say, is for missing out on stuff is pretty. It's brutal, man. Nothing's worse than when you want something and like we just talked about X4 Cyclops. I want an X4 Cyclops. Looking around on eBay, he's already up $10 on eBay. He's like $34.99 for pre-orders. Not doing that. Something like the X-Men '97 Wolverine was going for $80. Targeted re-release. I missed it online. It's still going for like $45. So, how do you fix that? Well, you hit the stores and you hit the ground and you hunt. So, hunting is what action figure collecting to me is all about. There's nothing better than the thrill of the hunt when you walk into the aisle and that thing you've been clamoring for is just sitting there on the pegs. So, I try to go at least once a week. The way I do it is I am very lucky where I have a friend who is absolute nails, and he works like a weird like 1.5 shift or second shift kind of deal. So he hits a lot of stores in the morning when I'm at work. So probably once a week I get a text from him from he's at a Walmart and there's something I need. So this week he was able to score for me something no, I thought I had no chance of ever acquiring these. I got the Heart Foundation WWE Superstar figures from Mattel. Throw the photo up. So these are, in case I'm trying to give you a description if you're doing this on audio. So they are WWF figures. I still say WF. I don't care, right? And they're based off the He-Man Origins body style. So they look kind of like He-Man figures, right? So they're very retro feeling, very 80s feeling. And the other thing too is because they are 80s feeling, they do a lot, well, mostly all wrestlers from back in my day. So British Bulldog, Mr. Perfect, stuff like that. Doink the Clown, Andre, Mr. T, Muhammad Ali, which was awesome, right? So they did the Hart Foundation. So I'm a huge Bret Hart guy. I love Bret Hart. Um, so you got Bret Hart, who, not gonna lie, face sculpt, a little weird. Zoom in on it. Strange little face sculpt. I'm guessing behind him in the bag there's some sunglasses you can put on him, make him look a little better. Um, Neidhart looks nails. So again, these are a very good value figure for $20, and I say that not sarcastically because toys are expensive nowadays. But you get a pretty good sculpted figure. Um, Again, they move right the old stuff, which I like. But the soft goods on these are pretty cool. So these two have the Heart Foundation jackets. That was always their thing. They came out in the black and pink jackets and stuff like that. And yeah, it's that little. Again, it goes back to why do you collect? Do you have a hoarding problem? You just have to accumulate stuff. Hand raised. That's it. Do you have like an ADHD thing where you just have to have new shiny things around you to kind of pass the time by because life is hard and they make it easier? Again, hand up. But I mean, we had it pretty good back in those days, man. And it's just anytime you can look back and have just even like a twinkle in your eye of the old days, to me, it's worth $20. So how'd you get those? So big thank you to a buddy of mine. I'm not gonna say his name in case he doesn't want me to, but so I got those coming. And then I went out hunting, and again, it's kind of slim pickings because you have your Targets and your WalMarts are doing resets. So it is a good time to grab some stuff on clearance. There's a lot of clearance stuff out there. Something I'm eyeballing. They started doing those Micro Machine ships for Star Wars again, and they have a Ghost at Target. It's a Target exclusive, big version of the Ghost from Rebels. Gonna try to scoff one of those on clearance, but not a whole lot on the Master of the Universe section. There was no Masterverse in stock. They had the Adam and Cringer 2-pack, which I already have. They have the Skeletor Stranger Things pack, which for some reason, I don't know why, in my area, no one ever got the He-Man and Vanica pack, which drove me absolutely friggin' nuts. But G.I. Joe's Baron, I will say for Marvel Legends, they did have a Disco Wanderer from Secret Wars. No Wolverine. I keep looking for the damn Wolverine for that Secret Wars line because it's just absolutely killer. But and they had the new red Hulk from the Anthony Mackie Captain America movie. So your Harrison Ford Hulk. But we hit pay dirt on the DC multiverse. So anyone doesn't know, I guess it's like every quarter maybe, both Walmart and Target get two exclusive, it seems at least, two exclusive McFarlane Multiverse Gold Label figures. I have found over the year plus they've been doing this, with the exception of maybe like one wave, Walmart gets absolutely porked with the selection. So Walmart right now, they do have the Hal Jordan Green Lantern, who's my favorite character, and the Action Comics Superman, both gorgeous figures. So Walmart does win this round, but like the way before that was like the Vampire Shazam and Max Mercury. No one wants that shit. It's still sitting on they still have 90 of them at the store, right? Target last cycle had Parallax Sinestro and Captain Steel, so old JSA member. So we have more old school DC figures. So first up, Wildcat. We found the JSA Wildcat. I saw these were going up. McFarlane posted these on Instagram. These, as far as I know, did not have a pre-order from Target. So I was just very lucky to walk in and find a fresh case of these sitting there. So Wildcat, not the most detailed figure. The sculpt on the head on the cowl is pretty neat. the Glove Raptor killer, right? But he's just, I mean, he's a JSA, so he's an old Golden Age character. Very, very simplistic, but it's a character we have not gotten in action figure form before. I don't think ever, honestly. There might have been a Wildcat from the old Just League Unlimited cartoon, but don't quote me on that because those just got nuts. I fell off of those quite a bit. So next one is Orion. Orion from New Gods. Orion is the son of Darkseid, who's the bad guy from Just League the movie and stuff like that. The big gray and blue guy. Who I guess Josh Brolin's been talking about playing in the new DCU. But Orion's a cool character. I'm not gonna lie. I wish his flying apparatus was not mustard yellow. Was like gold. I'm gonna have to buy a second one of those and take that out and spray paint it. But I'm digging that they go outside the box. I mean, that's one thing McFarlane Toys does. Is they don't always do the. As I say that, I'm sure there's someone on the internet going, "This guy's an idiot." They do 95 friggin' Batmans. I get it. Well, Batman sells. Like very rarely does a Batman make it to clearance. Batman is money. You have to make Batman figures. But give me all the New Gods. Like, dude, you do a Granny Goodness or a Big Bartha or Mr. Miracle, and Adam Strange. Like, oh my, just dude, it's such an easy buy for most DC fans. It's one thing like DC has over Marvel. Like I know Marvel, bad guy, the Avengers, whatever. Secondary characters in DC, way better, man. I like Plastic Man better than Mr. Fantastic. I know Mr. Fantastic's smarter, but Orion, Adam Strange, Big Bart is a cool character. Etrigan the Demon. I mean, Doctor Fate, body bag, Doctor Strange. I don't care what anyone says. So, bring me more New God characters, please, McFarlane. So, again, it was a slow week of hunting. That's it. The next thing to be on the lookout for is going to be that Power Girl and that Captain Cold. Power Girl might be my favorite female DC character. I don't know, it's tough. Her and Zatanna, man. It's probably Power Girl. It's probably Power Girl. Actually, I have, we'll do on the YouTube channel, hopefully. I picked up before Christmas the Sideshow Power Girl statue, the premium format figure. Still in the shed. No one knows I have it yet. Haven't told the wife yet, but we're going to have to unbox that thing because it's going to go right up on the shelf in the display room with the first Power Girl CGC 8.0 just sitting behind it. Only an 8.0. I know I need to upgrade it for the display, but I got one. I got a good deal on one at and we're not going to get too much into comic books on the show, so I apologize if you're not a comic book guy, but one of my favorite places to collect is we go down to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in New Jersey. Again, big Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash fans, and always cut you good deals on the wall books. I got a gorgeous Power Girl first appearance. Mike, the manager, gave me a killer deal on it. Pressed that sucker out, sent it in, came back for what I paid for it. Absolutely, absolutely gorgeous 8.0. Very, very happy with that purchase. So I don't know. My buddy Alex started this thing where he was doing statues, like whether it's a Bowen or like a premium format from Sideshow. Which, by the way, I know I'm jumping around a lot. The new Harley Quinn from Sideshow, I think, got released yesterday. I got the email. Man, I wish they weren't 700, 800 bucks still because they are killer. But anyway, I digress. The first appearance comic behind the statue is such a dope display setup. Like I have a couple years ago at the first one I did like that was a Bombshells DC and Joker when she's the nurse and she's dipping Joker, and I put that cover behind it, and whew, it does pop. So we're gonna have to start doing that a lot more. But again, if you're watching on YouTube behind me, I do have some stuff displayed to set up my little set for the show. I'll switch the stuff out. This is not even the tip of the iceberg. So again, whatever. So yeah, so that was the hunt this week. We got Wildcat and Orion, two figures I had not even seen ship out yet. So I'm not saying I'm the first to get them, but I had not seen any videos or anyone else online get a hold of theirs. Besides people that get them directly from McFarlane. So I'm very happy to hit Target up and find those figures. Also, what I found on Pegs was the Snyderverse line, the Nightmare Batman, the Wonder Woman, which again is just a repaint of like the Shazam 2 Wonder Woman, I believe. But if you miss out on that, it's a great way to get a Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. It's a gorgeous figure, and I found another chase for the Superman, the statue. I thought things would be hard to find. I've come across that sucker like 5 times already. They also did have the normal Superman and Doomsday from BVS, $70. I have that on pre-order with Big Bad Toy Store. I am going to cancel that because up close, I believe the Superman. No, don't quote me. I believe the Superman is the exact same Superman from the Target exclusive Justice League Superman, which is just the black suit that a lot of people have, painted in his normal blue and red colors. So I already have that. I'm not gonna lie, the Doomsday kind of looks like trash. I'm not. I mean, it's okay. Is it $50 okay? No way in hell. So now that I know that they are on store shelves and not just online retail exclusive, I'm just gonna wait. If I find it on clearance, I will. I'll grab one. One thing I passed on for a long time was the Multiverse Superman versus Ultraman, which I did not bring downstairs. It's up in the pile to be sorted, but that thing was like $40, $45 maybe, for as long as I can remember. And I went to Target, I picked one up, and I was like, it didn't have a sticker. I was like, you know what? I was like, this thing has to be on clearance. I scanned it. It was $10. So for $10, I'll roll with it. But and that's again, that's the whole fun of doing what we do, right? It's I kind of wanted that. I didn't want it at $45, but for $10, dude, I'll take a $10 deal all day. So okay, so again, so first episode, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this. Which can be this journey. The show will grow organically. I've done podcasts before. I do another show, the Fan Men podcast, on a different network. You can always check that out if you want. We talk about all kinds of just random stuff. But first time doing one by myself, usually I have a co-host or two. We will get guests in from time to time. I got tons of buddies that collect. We'll have people pop in. We'll try to get some, if we can grow enough, we'll try to get some important people in. But so again, if you do like what you're hearing, you want to help us grow, like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell your friends, tell your grandmother. She might have a YouTube account. If not, sign her up for one and subscribe to ColleX Podcast. Grandma will love it. So I promise. But a lot of people right now are doing best of 2024. 2024 is actually a really good year, I think, for collectors. And if for nothing else, I feel like a lot of the supply problems that we've been dealing with the last few years have been kind of dried up. Like, you can usually get a hold of stuff you want it. Case in point, retro carded GI Joes. When they were Walmart exclusives, they were such a pain in the neck to track down. They really were. It was so hard to find them, and find them in good shape. I think the last thing from the retro line that Walmart had exclusive that I couldn't really, I got the Snake Eyes. I ordered online, but again, they threw two of them in a poly bag, and they should have kind of beat the hell. So I do not have a great crisp card Snake Eyes retro figure. However, since then, Hasbro learned their lesson, or some kind of contract ran out. The retro figures now for G.I. Joe came out. Double thick carded backs, gorgeous artwork. It's just what you remember from your childhood, just in bigger and greater scale. So, G.I. Joe Classified had a bunch of figures released this year. Doc, Airborne, Quick Kick, Retro Beachhead that I mentioned earlier. But for me, the best G.I. Joe Classified figure of 2024 was Retro Duke. I mean, Duke he's G.I. Joe. He's the man. I mean, he's the leader of the clan, and we've had him before. We had the original wave classifieds. The Duke was cool. It wasn't bad. It was okay. It looked like Duke. You could tell it was Duke. They didn't change him too much. They did that same figure on a Tiger Force cycle. Again, it's okay. But this thing, dude, this thing is picture perfect. I can't find a flaw in it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I get it. He's kind of plain in comparison to the other characters, but that's the simplistic beauty in this figure is that he looks just like the card art, and that's what's supposed to happen. Like for once, when you go get a Big Mac, it doesn't look like the Big Mac on the poster on the window. They gave you something that looks like the poster. Basically, they gave you a photo proper Big Mac, so to speak. So I'm gonna give my best GI Joe to Duke. So. And we'll do a best of something. And we'll do one every week for the next month or so, which kind of just breaks stuff down. But again, thank you so much for joining us. If you don't agree with anything I said, I would love to hear about it because I don't like to argue with people, but I love to hear other opinions. That's what it's all about. So you're probably like, oh, this guy didn't even do any friggin' Transformer stuff. You're right. I kind of don't do that much Transformer stuff. Could draw the line somewhere. But I got a Transformers guy. Maybe we'll bring him on one day. We'll talk Transformers. I don't know, we'll do whatever. So, again, whatever you collect, action figures, statues, maybe you're just into popcorn buckets. Drop me a comment like, hey, I only really collect popcorn buckets from Disney World and movie theaters. You got it. I will go start hunting popcorn buckets just so you and me can have a conversation in the comments. I'll do my best to appease everybody. So, again, Would really help the channel if you like and subscribe to the channel. We're on Instagram at ColleX Podcast, YouTube ColleX Podcast, wherever you're getting this audio podcast, because it goes everywhere. Just go ahead and like and subscribe there. Reviews, comments. If you want to just bark at me and send me djgove at wearecritics.com. Send me a message directly. You want to talk about something. That's cool. Maybe you're like, hey, I can never find this. My stores don't have anything. Cool, let me know, because I am pretty good at finding stuff. And maybe you can find something I can't. We can trade. Who knows? I mean, the collecting community it's great, man. We all like the same stuff. We all like to find a giant piece of plastic for $25 that we wanted. So, again, you look at it, it makes you happy, right? So that's what it's all about. So, again, thank you so much. Come on back next week. We'll talk about it. Again, everybody, just hit those eggs. Happy hunting.